Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
And we are now recording.
Oh, okay.
Now we're recording.
Good morning, everyone. Today is February 18th, 2026. It is now 10:19 a.m. Thank you for joining us for today's Internal Affairs Oversight Panel. This is a public meeting. My name is Anthony Fugate. I am the chair of the Internal Affairs Oversight Panel. As a note, this meeting is open to the public to attend and is being recorded through Zoom. Zoom has been set up for video recording purposes only and is not an option for public participation at this time. If anyone needs a transcript of this meeting afterwards, please reach out to the OPAT staff at opat@boston.gov. Again, opat@boston.gov. A public comment will not be held during this meeting. You're welcome to submit any comments that you have to the OPAT, again, as opat@boston.gov. I've got a period after gov on one, without on the other.
I don't think we need.
There's no period.
opat@boston.gov without the dot after gov. You're welcome to submit any comments as I indicated. They will be acknowledged at the next OPAT Commission Community Meeting. I'll begin by having roll call. I, as the chairperson, present. Ms. Christine Miller, not present. Mr. Elon Hackshaw,
Present.
Mr. Tron,
Present.
Mr. Mika Hobbs.
Present.
This morning, we will run through the agenda that you can see on the screen, or will see on the screen. Each board member has a copy of the agenda in their binder. Our first order of business today is to approve the meetings minutes from the OPAT's December 8th, 2025 meeting. It was contained within our contents of this folder, as everyone had an opportunity to read through it.
Yes.
Does anyone feel that any objections are necessary? Hearing none, I will do a roll call vote with respect to accepting the minutes of the previous meeting. Myself, yes, approved. Mr. Hackshaw?
Approved.
Mr. Tron?
Approved.
Ms. Hobbs?
Approved. I'm sorry,
So,
you moved to approve, who seconded the motion?
I'm sorry?
Who seconded the motion?
Oh, you are correct. I needed a formal motion.
Move that we approve the meeting minutes as provided in the materials to.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Let's do the vote again. Myself, chairperson, yes. Mr. Hackshaw?
Yes.
Mr. Tron?
Yes.
Ms. Hobbs?
Yes.
Unanimous. At this time, we'll move on to Executive Director's report. The chair acknowledges Executive Director Evandro Carvajal to present his report to IAOP.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, members of the panel.
Good morning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As always, it's a privilege and an honor to present this report as the Executive Director of Office of Police Accountability and Transparency. I will be significantly short today. I am unfortunately a bit under the weather. But there's a lot that's happened with our agency over the past this year. 6 weeks now, that was in January 2026. Hopefully, talk about some of this stuff later. Hopefully, you can follow in the news some of the things that are going on around the agency. I won't dive into too much of that, but I will mention some highlights. And before I do that, though, I will give again a thank you to the team for putting this meeting together. We just last week, less than a week ago, February 12th, last Thursday, we had the CRB meeting. Civilian Review Board met last week. Thursday, before that, the OPAT Commission met. So we've already had a full calendar for the quarter in the first 6 weeks of the quarter. And so a lot of work is happening on behalf of the people of the city of Boston. And one of the key things that I wanted to mention, particularly around what happened on January 29th, when the OPAT commission met. And for those that perhaps at home don't know this, the OPAT commission is the chair, is comprised of the chair of each board, which is one of IAOP here, Internal Affairs Oversight Panel. Christina, would you mind?
I didn't want to interrupt.
No, please, no interruption. Thank
Sorry.
you, thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
The best for when you got here. I was actually just diving into some of the details of the work that we've been doing over the past several weeks. Due to the fact that the OPAT commission, that is the chair of each board, the Internal Affairs Oversight Panel, IAOP board, this board, Mr. Chairman Fugate, along with Sam Harrell, who's the chair of the CRB, Severe Review Board. We met on January 29th, along with myself, I should mention. The three of us comprised the OPAT commission. And we met on January 9th and voted for the first time unanimously to vote to subpoena BPD personnel for the CRB meeting that we had last Thursday, February 12th. In fact, we subpoenaed 9 officers. Essentially, we had, as we always do, we have the public meeting where we have hearings on the cases that people file complaints with the office. And for this particular meeting, we subpoenaed the officers who had complaints against them. And I'm happy to report that a few of those officers did come. We had 3 officers that came to the meeting and spoke with the board. And a couple other people informed us they couldn't make it for one reason or another, one including one that had a training. So we had engagement with 2 additional personnel. We had a few, unfortunately, that didn't show. And I'm happy to highlight particularly Larry Calderon, who's the president of the Boston Police Patrolmen's Association, who came with the officers. As you know, the Patrolmen's Association is the largest union of the city in terms of BPD. And to have him present with these members was, I think, a significant step forward in the cooperation of the PD officers with OPAT in terms of the work that we do on the day-to-day basis. So I wanted to give him a shout because I thought that was very helpful for the work that we're doing. Where, you know, as I close, I guess, in terms of this important stuff, a lot of those cases that the officers didn't come, we postponed those cases. And we'll be hearing them soon. But obviously we have this space now of subpoena more or less being in the air, right? Which I know for many of you, for all of you should know that this has been a critical and important tool that members of the public have requested for us to use. Certainly since I started almost 2 years ago. So I'm proud that we took that significant step towards the work that we're doing. To kind of focus on today's, while we're here today, obviously, our team has 6 cases, right? That we're gonna put forth, so it'll be busy for you all. I'm excited to dive into those cases. There's a lot more work again to be done. But as I close, I wanted to, to kind of take a brief moment to recognize the unfortunate passing of a civil rights icon, Reverend Jesse Jackson, who I call your attention to that picture of 2 handsome men on the board there. And I decided to do this because recently, actually, I shared a much different picture with my team about my story, who I am as a teenager. And, as I moved on in life as a teenager, I had the privilege to attend the Howard University School of Law in Washington, D.C., which I know that's where I met Aaron 20 years ago when I met Jesse Jackson. And I was African-American studies. Mine in college, and sort of really knew the significance of what he brought to the table. And for me as a young man, I should have been 23, 24 here. It was monumental to shake his hand and talk to him about the work that he'd done. And obviously, again, now that he's passed away, all sort of revisiting what he brought. And I've had pleasure to, even this morning, I couldn't sleep in the morning and sort of was listening and watching some of the speeches, particularly the 1984 and 88 speeches that he gave at the Democratic National Convention. And I wanted to close with one quote from him that I think is very relevant to the work that we do. And he has so many wonderful things that he said, quotes. I think that's how his campaign speeches, particularly at the Democratic National Convention. But towards the beginning of a 50-minute speech, there was one thing that he said that I really thought was that caught my attention, which work that he's doing as a civil rights, one of the few people now that work with Martin Luther King, right? As we all know, unfortunately, was there when Martin Luther King was killed, and to move forward into now, and Barack Obama was elected, so I think of him as sort of one person or two that was able to live in those years of segregation, of Jim Crow, to translate into now. I think it really talks to who he was. But I'll finish again with the quote here that it's somewhat abstract, but also makes a lot of sense to me, at least, and I hope that it does to you as well. When he's talking about leadership, he says leadership must lead to the call of consciousness. And then he says a couple other things. He says time is neutral and does not change things, which makes sense. Time is neutral, right? It does not change anything. Then the following thing really caught my attention. He says that with courage and initiative, leadership changes things. Okay, I'll say it one more time. Time is neutral and does not change things. With courage and initiative, leadership changes things. And I think leaders change things. And I think really the work that all of us do in the space speaks to that, right? It's about initiative. It's about having courage to do the work that we all do on a day-to-day basis. Because it's definitely not an easy task, right? It's about what he and many others stood for. This work to me, as someone perhaps that presumptuously try to emulate great people like Mr. Jackson. It's to me, it's racial justice. This work is about racial justice, which is why this office exists. And I've said time and time again, it's like his passion really. It's beautiful that everybody's like, oh my God, this man, right? But the work continues through all of us here, and those many others throughout the city and throughout the country. So, but then a lot to me that I shook his hand in a way, shook Martin Luther King's hand, right? Because he shook Martin Luther King's hand. So I ended that, but I just wanted to kind of frame where we are in terms of America, in terms of this agency, and then hopefully continue to work together to a better future. Make sense?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for those kind words. Again, thank you, Director Cabo. Does anyone from the board have any questions regarding his report or his comments?
Just one. For the people who did not respond to subpoenas, are there any consequences, repercussions follow up? Because I don't want us to get in a situation where we're issuing 9 subpoenas and people show up and then nothing happens to the other people, because then it communicates that you can ignore subpoenas. So I guess that's the question, like what's the intended follow-up?
There'll be more to come. More to come. More to come. I think it's actually, thank you, Esther. We are, talking internally, certainly with the team and folks in City Hall to determine what the next steps are. I think at this point, I think sometimes it's better to celebrate the wins as well, and then think about the next steps before figure out what the next steps are. But more to come. Okay, so wrote that down. I think it was perfect. Okay, thanks for the question. We're looking into that, right?
Again, I'm going to go through to see if anyone specifically has any questions for the executive director. To you, Ms. Miller? To you, Mr. Hackshaw?
I read no answer.
Oh, Dan, I'm sorry. Mr. Trump? Ms. Hobbs?
No.
Continue on. Our next agenda item is appellate case review. The IAOP will review the appeals listed in executive session. Would anyone like to make a motion to enter into executive session at this time?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second,
I vote yes. Ms. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Hackshaw,
yes.
Mr. Tron,
Yes.
Ms. Hobbs.
Yes.
Now it's in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, Sub A1, Section 21A7, and Section 22F and G. This executive session is being called in order to review and approve past executive session minutes and to discuss the complaints brought against the Boston Police Department public officer, employee, staff member, or individual. This applies to case numbers 601